Black pepper. Black pepper comes from the dried berries of Piper nigrum, a climbing vine native to India's Malabar coast. It was traded across the Indian Ocean for more than 2,000 years, and became so valuable in medieval Europe that it was sometimes called black gold. The berries are picked while still green, briefly cooked, then dried until their skins wrinkle and darken. Its sharp heat comes mainly from piperine, a compound different from the capsaicin found in chili peppers. Black pepper tastes woody, citrusy, and lightly floral, with a dry bite that makes it one of the most widely used spices in the world. Cinnamon. Cinnamon is made from the inner bark of trees in the Cinnamomum genus. Ancient Egyptians used it in embalming by around 2000 BCE, while Roman writers described it as an expensive luxury imported through long trade routes. True cinnamon, or Ceylon cinnamon, comes mostly from Sri Lanka, and has thin, fragile layers with a delicate sweetness. Cassia cinnamon, grown widely in China, Indonesia, and Vietnam, is darker, thicker, and stronger. After harvest, the bark is peeled, fermented briefly, and dried into curled quills. Its warm flavor comes from cinnamaldehyde, giving cinnamon its sweet, woody aroma and its strong association with baked goods, stews, and spiced drinks. Cloves. Cloves are the dried flower buds of Syzygium aromaticum, a tree native to the Maluku Islands of Indonesia. For centuries, these islands were one of the only sources of cloves, making them central to the spice trade controlled by Arab merchants, then Portuguese and Dutch empires. The buds are harvested before they open, then sun-dried until they turn dark brown. Their powerful aroma comes mainly from eugenol, the same compound used in some dental preparations for its numbing effect. Cloves taste sweet, bitter, peppery, and almost medicinal. Because of their intensity, a small amount can flavor rice dishes, hams, mulled wine, curries, and spice blends. Nutmeg. Nutmeg comes from the seed of Myristica fragrans, an evergreen tree native to the Banda Islands in Indonesia. The same fruit produces two spices, nutmeg from the seed and mace from the red lace-like covering around it. In the 1600s, European powers fought violently for control of the Banda Islands, because nutmeg was rare and extremely profitable. After harvesting, the fruit is split open, the seed is dried for several weeks, and the hard shell is cracked away. Nutmeg has a warm, sweet, slightly resinous flavor with notes of clove and pine. It is used in custards, sauces, sausages, mashed potatoes, and winter drinks. Cardamom. Cardamom is the seed pod of plants in the ginger family, especially Eleutheria cardamomum. Green cardamom is native to the forests of southern India, and has been used in Ayurvedic traditions and regional cooking for centuries. The pods are harvested by hand before fully ripening, then dried carefully to preserve their green color and fragrance. Inside are tiny black seeds packed with essential oils. Cardamom tastes citrusy, minty, floral, and slightly peppery, which allows it to work in both sweet and savory foods. It is important in Indian masalas, Scandinavian pastries, Arabic coffee, and rice dishes, where even a few crushed pods can perfume an entire pot. Turmeric. Turmeric comes from the underground rhizome of Curcuma longa, a plant related to ginger and native to South Asia. It has been used in India for thousands of years as a cooking ingredient, textile dye, and ceremonial material. After harvest, the rhizomes are boiled or steamed, dried, and ground into a bright yellow-orange powder. Its color comes from curcumin, a pigment that stains easily and gives curry powders their recognizable appearance. Turmeric has an earthy, bitter, slightly mustard-like taste rather than strong heat. It is used in curries, rice dishes, pickles, soups, and spice blends, where it adds color, depth, and a warm mineral flavor. Cumin. Cumin is the dried seed of Cuminum ciminum, a plant native to the eastern Mediterranean and parts of Western Asia. Archaeologists have found cumin seeds in ancient Egyptian sites, and the spice was known to Greeks and Romans as both a seasoning and a table condiment. The seeds are harvested, dried, and often toasted before grinding, which releases their warm, nutty aroma. Cumin contains compounds such as cuminaldehyde, giving it a savory scent often described as earthy, smoky, and slightly bitter. It is essential in Mexican chili powders, Indian curry blends, Middle Eastern kebabs, North African stews, and many bean dishes, where it adds a deep roasted flavor. Coriander. Coriander spice comes from the dried seeds of Coriandrum sativum, the same plant that produces the fresh herb known as cilantro. Its use goes back at least 3,000 years, with seeds found in ancient Egyptian tombs and mentioned in early Sanskrit texts. The round seeds are harvested after the plant flowers and dries, then used whole or ground. Unlike cilantro leaves, coriander seeds have a mild, sweet, citrus-like flavor with hints of sage and lemon peel. Roasting makes them nuttier and less floral. Coriander is common in Indian masalas, European sausages, Belgian-style beers, pickling brines, and Middle Eastern spice blends, where it softens sharper flavors. Paprika. Paprika is made by drying and grinding red peppers from Capsicum annuum. Although peppers originated in the Americas, paprika became strongly associated with Hungary and Spain after peppers arrived in Europe in the 1500s. Spanish paprika is often smoked over oak, creating a deep, campfire-like flavor, while Hungarian paprika ranges from mild and sweet to hot and pungent. The peppers are dried, deseeded in some styles, and ground into a fine red powder. Paprika's color comes from carotenoid pigments, which can fade when exposed to light and air. It tastes sweet, fruity, smoky, or mildly spicy depending on the variety, and is central to goulash, chorizo, stews, and roasted vegetables. Saffron. Saffron is made from the dried stigmas of Crocus sativus flowers. Each flower produces only 3 red threads, and around 150,000 flowers may be needed for 1 kilogram of saffron, making it one of the most expensive spices by weight. It was cultivated in ancient Persia and has been traded for more than 3,000 years. The flowers are picked by hand, and the stigmas are carefully separated and dried. Saffron contains crocin for color, picrocrocin for flavor, and saffronal for aroma. It tastes honeyed, hay-like, metallic, and slightly bitter. It colors and perfumes dishes such as Persian rice, Spanish paella, Italian risotto, and Indian sweets. Ginger. Ginger spice comes from the rhizome of Zingiber officinale, a tropical plant first domesticated in Southeast Asia. It reached India and China in ancient times, and later traveled through Arab trade routes into Europe. Fresh ginger is juicy and sharp, while dried ground ginger is warmer, sweeter, and more concentrated. After harvest, rhizomes may be peeled, sliced, dried, and ground into powder. Its heat comes mainly from gingerols and fresh ginger, which transform into stronger shogols when dried or heated. Ginger tastes spicy, lemony, woody, and slightly sweet. It appears in curries, stir-fries, gingerbread, teas, marinades, and fermented drinks such as ginger beer. Star anise. Star anise is the dried fruit of Illicium verum, an evergreen tree native to southern China and northern Vietnam. The fruit forms an 8-pointed star, with each point holding a shiny brown seed. It has been used in Chinese cooking and medicine for centuries and became a major ingredient in trade with Europe. The spice is harvested before full ripening and dried until hard and reddish brown. Its dominant aroma comes from anethole, the same compound that gives fennel and licorice their sweet scent. Star anise tastes sweet, warm, and licorice-like. It is essential in Chinese 5-spice powder, Vietnamese pho broth, braised meats, and spiced syrups. Mustard seed. Mustard seed comes from several brassica plants, including white, brown, and black mustard. Ancient Romans mixed ground mustard seeds with grape must, creating an early form of prepared mustard. The seeds are tiny, hard, and mild when dry, but become pungent when crushed and mixed with water. This reaction creates isothiocyanates, compounds responsible for mustard's sharp heat. Yellow mustard seeds are milder and slightly sweet, while brown and black seeds are stronger and more sinus-clearing. They are used whole in Indian tempering, pickling brines, sausages, and spice blends. Ground mustard adds heat and acidity-friendly depth to sauces, dressings, marinades, and preserved meats. Vanilla. Vanilla comes from the cured seed pods of Vanilla planifolia, an orchid native to Mexico. For centuries, it was cultivated by the Totonac people, and later used by the Aztecs to flavor cacao drinks. Vanilla could not be grown widely outside Mexico until hand pollination was developed in 1841 by Edmund Albius, a young enslaved worker on Reunion Island. The green pods are harvested, blanched, sweated, dried, and aged for months. Vanillin is the main aroma compound, but natural vanilla contains hundreds of other flavor molecules. It tastes creamy, floral, woody, and sweet without actually being sugary. Vanilla is used in custards, cakes, chocolate, ice cream, and perfumes.